Hey, I'm Bridget, and here's what happened previously on TVSquad.com.
In a depressing development for single women across the country, ABC chose Lorenzo Borghese as their new Bachelor.
Which is saying that this is now the best the U.S. has to offer.
I mean, if I would have met this guy in a club, I wouldn't have let him buy me a drink.
The sleazy/desperate vibe he sends off is pretty strong.
And personally, I have issues with the guy's hair. I mean, he's well on his way to having an onion loaf.
You know, like the Donald Trump onion loaf.
Reportedly, producers enrolled Lorenzo in a quick course in speaking Italian before shooting started, since they were selling him as an Italian prince and he didn't know how to speak any Italian.
Actually, he's mostly grown up in New Jersey, and though on the show he claims Rome is his second home, members of the Borghese family in Rome say they don't think he's been there. Ever.
When promoting the show, they said Lorenzo was a cosmetics engineer, but they didn't clarify that it's dog cosmetics.
Like the famous Stinky Be Gone odor fighting kit.
Now, don't get me wrong, I appreciate Stinky Be Gone as much as the next dog owner. I just feel sorry for the 25 girls who thought they were going to be meeting an exotic Italian prince. And really, they're just competing for the chance to be Mrs. Stinky Be Gone, living in Jersey.
Okay, so we finally all got to see the Season 3 Lost premiere. And it was actually kind of a letdown for me, but at this point I'm way too hooked to think about not watching it anymore. I think it was really interesting that when the others saw the plane crash and Ben gave orders on checking for survivors, he sent one person to each crash site. He sent them with instructions to infiltrate and not get involved. It wasn't a rescue mission, or Ben would have sent more people or some kind of medical supplies. A typical society's response to save lives wasn't even given a thought. The bad part about a show like Lost with so many clues and little hidden meanings mixed in is that sometimes it's hard to distinguish production errors, which are a part of any show, from real clues and hidden meanings. A couple of these things I noticed in the series premiere. First, do the others have cars? It's really tiny, but look in the bottom right corner here in the scene when the others ran outside and saw the plane break in two. If they have cars, they might have roads, and cars and roads could mean all kinds of possibilities for the future. Second, in the very first scene when Juliet takes out that CD to play the song Downtown, the CD case she takes it out of is the album Speaking in Tongues by the Talking Heads, which is decades more modern than any music that we've seen on the island so far. As usual, I'll be watching and hoping this next episode answers a few questions before it inevitably creates more. Like, what happened between the time Kate was sitting in front of a fancy breakfast to the time she ended up in the cage across from Sawyer's, roughed up and hungry enough to eat a fish biscuit? And the world is just a more dangerous place for some people than it is for others. Eva Longoria of Desperate Housewives had to be taken to the hospital after basically falling out of her trailer on the set. She was actually trying to walk out of the trailer, but somehow the steps got tricky and she ended up on the ground with severely bruised ribs. Last summer, Eva needed emergency hospital treatment after she was hit in the head by a piece of equipment on the set. If her relationship with NBA player Tony Parker straightens out and the two end up getting married after all, let's hope their kids get his coordination genes. Thanks for watching. I'm Bridget, and I'll see you next time on Previously on TV Squad.